Hello, and welcome to another edition of It's Just Our Opinion. I appreciate you tuning in today. Today is our 26th episode. Can you believe 26 of these shows we've done? We started July the 1st and just keeps rolling, and time flies. We've missed a few weeks. We skipped last week. So much going on right now in the world with this COVID-19. It's affecting everybody's life. It's just affecting everybody's lifestyles. We're having to change the way we do things, the way we meet people and stuff. So it's really had a big effect on everybody. It's just amazing. Just a few months ago, the world was going at a fast pace. I mean, the economy was booming. Everybody had a job that wanted a job. And then just like that, bam, this disease come from China. I know some people don't like to say this China disease, but let's say it what it is. It come from China. Has really just affected everything that we do. Our governments are shut down pretty much here in Alabama, especially. Nearly all the courthouses are closed to the public. They're still open where people can call and get advice and stuff, and you can mail in and buy your tags online and all that stuff. But it's changed. It's just changed so much of what we do. School, is closed. I mean, for the rest of the year because of this COVID-19. Now we just completely have been taken over by this. Our kids now. A lot of kids love it because they got out for a week or so early for spring break, and then they found out they didn't even have to go back. Now, some schools are kind of a little stricter than others. A lot of them are having homework assignments that they send, and so the kids are still having a few hours a day that they have to go and do schoolwork and stuff. But our seniors, that's so sad for our seniors that all the activities that you do after spring break, you get ready and fired up for your graduation ceremonies. It's just so much that you do those last few months on your senior year, and all of that has just been wiped away because of this. And it's just kind of sad, that the seniors won't get to experience all the things that was the seniors in the history in the past have got to do. But they're graduating, and they're going to have their diploma, and they'll go on with life. This thing will be over someday. It'll pass, and they'll find a cure or treatment for it, and we'll just keep going. But this year, 2020, will always be remembered for the COVID-19 outbreak. It's just sad though that everything, even our church services, who would have ever thought that a disease from China could close the churches in America? I mean, of all the places that people need to be is church, but even the churches are closed. Now, some churches are having like drive-through services where you can pull in the parking lot and the preacher will get out and on a loudspeaker and preach, but you can't get out of your car. You've got to sit in the car. And so, one thing I hadn't heard any preachers really say, but I wonder how it hurts the offerings because, when they start passing a plate around to the drive-throughs, a lot of people probably going to ease out. But I've not heard any of that. But it's just sad that how everything has changed. I mean, your whole life. Now, I heard a few weeks ago, they're talking about, in 9 months we'll probably have a baby boom. I mean, babies just be everywhere, and some of them will be named Corona and all of this stuff. But we're going to know the people that have these babies. We're going to know that they violated the 6-foot rule. They didn't stay 6 feet apart. I mean, they're going to be telling on themselves when they announce that they've got little Jeremiah or little Corona or something like that. And everybody's going to be mad. And I don't think the government's going to be writing them tickets or nothing like that. But I mean, there'll be no way for them to ever say they stayed 6 feet apart and having all these babies. Now, we've got a new grandbaby on the way. So it's supposed to be here in October, but that was all happened before the 6-foot ban come in. If not, we would have really been on them when that little baby was born, because we try to follow all the rules that we can, and we've always encouraged our children to do that. So, but it's just amazing what we're going to find out here in 9 months. We're going to see who followed the rules and who didn't. Now, I hope you won't be mad at those folks that do that didn't follow the rules. But when they invite you to the shower, you need to do a gift that says, next time follow the rules. But anyway, that's enough of that. But it's just something that this world's going through, and it will pass. So like I say, don't think it's here for good. It'll pass. People, may not ever go back and shake hands like they used to. Maybe fist bumps or nodding and something like that. May not ever go back to the hugging, and I know it's going to change what society does from here on out. But anyway, just keep praying. It's going to get better, and all this will pass. One thing about all this virus and stuff, it's really quieting down the political world. You don't see any ads on TV. We got a major Senate race going on right here in Alabama, but you don't see any ads anymore. It's all dried up. The election's been put off to July, the runoff election, and so everybody's just holding that money and not running no ads at all, and not getting involved. And it's really good because, I'd done seen so many of these Jeff Sessions ads that I was beginning to wonder where Tuberville really lived. But now I know Coach has lived in Auburn for a long time and had land all over. But, you see that commercial 95 times in a week, it makes you wonder. So I'm glad to see those ads gone. And of course, we just never knew how bad that Sessions treated Trump until all these ads started. But they're off the they're off the air now for a while. We ain't got to see any politics hardly like that. We did have one big news that happened today, though. Bernie Sanders dropped out of the Democratic race for president. Now, poor Bernie, he been running for 5-6 years now. He ain't ever give up. And I don't know if he'll run next time or not, but his signs will be easy to say because they're just kind of small and they say Bernie. So I don't even think they got a year on them, so he can just keep using them. But he dropped out to let Joe Biden go ahead and have the nomination, and somebody said they're probably going to wake Joe up next week and let him know that he's probably going to be the nominee, so he can get to run against President Trump in November. Now, originally, there was some talk that President Trump was probably going to try to just, put off the election in November until this virus is all over. But now that he's got to run against Joe Biden, I figure, he'll go ahead and let Joe stay on the ballot, and this thing will get over with. And Joe, Joe is really, well, let's just say Joe's going to be a candidate for the Democrats running for president. I think Joe's a good guy. He's had a long career in the Senate and was vice president and stuff, but it's just different when you're running for president. But anyway, he is going to be the Democratic nominee. And like I say, Bernie, I know it was hard on him to drop out. He's put a lot into it, but it's over today. Well, that's enough of politics. We just don't want to talk a whole lot of politics on here. I tell you something that I really enjoy, and I hope you do too, is watching American Idol. Now that show's been around now for several years, and we've had several folks here from Alabama. Taylor Hicks won this thing several years ago here from Alabama. Reuben Studdard won it from Alabama. We had a guy from right here in Summerville, Alabama, come in second years ago, Bo Bice. And so, Alabama and American Idol just kind of go together. We love to watch that. Me and my wife, we sit in there and watch this, and a lot of the times the one that they pick to go forward, I wouldn't pick. I guess it's because I'm not musical talented enough to really see talent when I see it. When I sing in the shower, most of the time, Regina will come and pull the door to so she can't even hear it. But it's really neat. These kids that make it the first round, when they get to go to Hollywood. I mean, some of these people getting to go to Hollywood is just amazing. It's a life changer for them. And then if they make it that round, then they get to go to, I think it's Hawaii where they go. Now there's some people on this show this year. I mean, I know there's the homeless lady where her and her mom was living in a car. We had the guy from down toward Mobile somewhere that was a garbage can collector or garbage collector, which, he made it to the second round. He didn't make it to the Hawaii stage. But man, these people, I mean, it changes their life. So just getting chose to go to Hollywood, you win. Now, they picked the top 21 the other night, most times top 20, but the last two was actually tied and going to let the voters vote. And we voted. I'm not going to campaign for either one of them, but my wife and I, we both text and typed and tried to support one of them so they make the top 20. But it's just amazing. You go to Hollywood and go to Hawaii, then I don't know where they go next, probably back to Hollywood, but it's really neat, just the trips that they get. And a lot of their families get to follow them stuff and watch them perform and stuff. So they're winners if they get chose at all. They're winners. And I love to watch it because there's so many of them would never get a shot at the music industry or music business unless they made the first round and got to go to Hollywood. And a lot of those that don't make the second and third rounds, still they get enough recognition that they can do some singings in nightclubs and stuff like that where they can make some money on the side. And who knows, every now and then we may have one that just breaks loose and takes off. But I love American Idol, and I am actually pushing that show. I think you would love it if you've never watched it, to turn it on and just watch that. Spring is here. I've mentioned before, I love spring. Me and my wife, I mean, that's our favorite time of the year. We love spring, and we done something last year that we had not done in 20 years. We planted a small garden. And we loved it. We had tomatoes, we had squash, we had cucumbers, and I believe that's about all we really got to come up. We planted onions, but they didn't work, so we just bought them, at the grocery store. But this year, I got a great neighbor down the road that come and broke my garden for me last year, and so I got him to do it again this year, and I told him I wanted it to be a little bigger this year, and he made it a lot bigger. So we've already set out our squash and cucumbers, and this year we put out some radishes already, and we've got okra, and we got the onions we're going to try again. We got some lettuce. I mean, we're going to even set out some corn. Now, I don't know why we're doing corn. Everybody knows you can go to the grocery store and get them cans of corn, 4 for $2 sometimes. I mean, that's a pretty good deal, and you ain't got to shuck them, but we're going to plant a row or two of corn and maybe even do a watermelon or two. Now, I know some of y'all farmers that's watching this say, well, Ray, it's a little early to be setting that stuff out. And, I've been told that already, too. It's a little early, but our weather here in Alabama, you never know. It may be freezing tonight, but it may be 87 tomorrow. And so we figured we're going to give it a shot. Now, they tell you on the packs, you read those packs, plant them things about a half an inch. Well, we went ahead and pushed them down about an inch, so just in case it does get cool. But we're going to try this farming thing again because it was a lot of fun. We love tomatoes and cucumbers and squash, and I love okra. And I don't know why we didn't plant it last year, but we didn't. But anyway, spring is here. So, we got plenty of time. We just sit around and think about what we want to plant. So, we do that. But we enjoy it. And like I say, we're looking forward. And as the plants come up and stuff, we may have some pictures on here, some of our garden that's later on, let you just see what a farmer my wife and I are. We've got cows and all that and chickens, but we're going to just see how we can do in the farming business. Now, since I done my last show, I don't have a picture here with us, but my granddaughter, not just my granddaughter, but our granddaughter, Isabel Grace Mitchell, was in a Panda, what was it called, Pandaluna or something like that, beauty contest in Florida. It was nationwide, but she lives in Florida, and of all the contestants involved in Florida, she come in second. Now we just proud of her, little Izzy, and I may try to find a picture and put her on, or may even have her on a show here in a few weeks. She won't talk because she's only 4 months, but we're really proud of her because, hey, second place in Florida, that's a pretty big state. But anyway, we just want to say that I always want to brag on my kids. Speaking of my grandkids, they was out washing my tractor today when I come in, just enjoying the spring weather. Man, had the pressure washer out there washing the tractor off, making it look like a new one. I hope it, because it looks like a new one, I ain't got to pay for it like it's a new one again. But it has really been good. But this just spring makes you want to get out and do something. So that's what we've been doing. Well, anyway, I want to thank you again for watching this thing. Pass it on to your friends and your families and your neighbors. And we just want everybody to see this and enjoy it. We love doing it. We hope you love it. But everything we say on here, though, hey, it's just our opinion.